Welcome to Castle Creek Winery. You are at the site where we age and bottle all of our premium wines. Inside this building, Castle Creek stores and ages up to 20,000 gallons each year. It might surprise you to learn that Utah, in the 19th century, had a history of producing wine and even spirits. As early as 1875, there were over 500 acres of vineyard planted in Utah, producing upwards of 1,700 tons of grapes. While it's been several generations since then, a new tradition of premium winemaking has come to the Moab area. The terrain and climate still lend themselves to wines of great quality. Several red and white grape varieties do well here in Moab. Both types take about 6 to 8 years to mature and produce a full crop. The grape plants bloom in late spring, avoiding the frosts that can wipe out much of Moab's other fruit crops. The grapes grow quickly through the summer, and our harvest usually occurs around the end of August through the middle of September. All of the grapes from Moab are hand-picked. At the end of the growing season, grapes are harvested and brought to the winery. Farmers know when to pick the grapes by closely monitoring the sugar and acid levels. As the warm summer days progress, the sugar levels rise and the acid levels decrease until the fruit reaches a point where flavor and chemistry meet. Once the grapes are weighed, they start the process of becoming wine. First, the grapes are dumped into a hopper and sent through a machine that separates the grape cluster from the bitter stem. A white wine will go directly into the press that separates the juice from the skins and seeds. This process happens right away to keep the white juice clear and fresh. Yeast is then introduced, and the resulting liquid is cooled and fermented for around a month. This process of cooling the fermentation is what gives white wines their fruity, crisp taste. With a red wine, the grapes will be destemmed and then pumped into a fermentation tank with the skins and seeds, along with added yeast and enzymes. By allowing the juice to ferment with the skins, tannins are extracted, giving the wine its rich red color. After around 10 days, this red pulp, called must, is pumped back into the press, taking out the skins and seeds. After this primary fermentation process, which turns the sugars into alcohol, decisions have to be made about how the wine will be treated to create a particular wine style. Most of the white wines will have to undergo a fining process that mellows some flavors while enhancing others. This kind of white wine is usually stabilized and bottled within 6 months to a year and is made to be consumed soon after bottling. All of the red wines undergo a secondary process called malolactic fermentation. This converts some of the bitter, more astringent acids into softer, mellower tasting ones. Our red wines are usually fined and aged in oak for up to 2 years. This allows them to mellow and mature. After we bottle the red wine, it is allowed to age even longer in the bottle. Castle Creek Winery opened in 1998. We now produce 9 different labels of red and white wine. Here on the property, we oversee 10 acres of vines. We also work with farmers in the Four Corners region to source grapes that match the kinds of wine we make and meet our standard for quality. We are glad you are here and hope you have a chance to try our award-winning wines.